I said it'd be a theme after this election. Voting Labor hasn't made the problems magically disappear. And someone should tell that to Chris Bowen, who's come out from hiding to crow about Labor's win. Just as we get two more signs that Bowen's green energy revolution is a disaster. Bowen is, of course, the government's energy and climate change minister. He is so unpopular in the polls that Labor kept him out of the election campaign. Killed all that stuff about, the wind and solar. Yet today Bowen had the hide to claim that Labor's victory was at least partly because of his green policies.
Well, what we will do is implement what we took the election, which is the 6 zones. Despite some of the rhetoric and the argy-bargy, there was a swing to the Labor Party pretty much in every offshore wind seat. I take that as well as an endorsement, as I said in an op-ed today, by the silent majority to say, keep going, get on with the job.
Get on with the job? Labor should be freaking. And not just because international evidence shows that the more wind and solar a country has, the higher power bills are likely to be. And just this week there were 2 more signs of Bowen-style green plans already causing havoc here. First, as I said last night, there was the news that a big fertiliser plant in Queensland could be shut unless a buyer can be found. It's the Dyno Nobel plant at Phosphate Hill, at risk of closure because of high gas prices. And it's not alone. Last year, Qenos, our biggest manufacturer of plastics and chemicals, also shut, followed 3 months ago by Australia's only architectural glass manufacturer, Oceania Glass. But that wasn't the only news this week that proved that Australians voted Labor, but it's still stuck with Bowen's green turkeys. Billionaire Andrew Forrest also announced he was laying off another 90 staff working on his green hydrogen projects. Now, Forrest is the bloke who helped persuade Chris Bowen that this miracle green gas, made from pumping vast amounts of green electricity through water, would power our future. And Bowen and Anthony Albanese were such suckers that they promised billions in subsidies to green hydrogen investors.
Green hydrogen, the purest source of energy in the world and one that could replace up to 3/4 of global emissions.
Our green hydrogen future is fundamental to that clean energy future.
The green hydrogen sector has an enormous potential in this country.
But Forrest last year walked away from most of his hydrogen projects, admitting the gas was too expensive. This latest news suggests that that has not changed. And Woodside and Origin also dropped planned investments last year. But Chris Bowen says, well, voters just told him to keep on with this madness. Joining me is Rowan Dean, Editor-in-Chief of The Spectator Australia and gun presenter on Outsiders on Sky News every Sunday at 9 a.m. and host of his own show on Fridays, 7 p.m. Rowan, great to see you. Bowen says voters told him at the election to keep going. Did they really?
Well, that's it then, Andrew. I think we should just carry on. Let's get more windmills up there, more solar panels. Let's club more koala bears to death. Let's see more whales drowning out there. Let's destroy more lobster farms. Let's go for it. I mean, the voters have clearly spoken. They clearly want net zero. They want to solve the world's problems all by ourselves. The voters have said Australia can defy China, America, Russia, India, Brazil, 2/3 of the world who are abandoning net zero. The voters, Bowen's silent majority, there's a thought. Bowen's silent majority have said that Tony Blair, for instance, is wrong when he says that net zero is a disaster. The British are clearly wrong. Ed Miliband, maybe he's part of Chris Bowen's silent majority, but Ed Miliband is floundering in a sea of woes because of net zero. All around the world, the net zero myth is collapsing. The real tragedy here, Andrew, is that the coalition could have fought this argument and won it, but neither side of politics was prepared to have the argument in this election campaign this miserable election campaign we've just been through. Both sides showed their absolute cowardice and timidity in not prosecuting their cases. So Chris Bowen may well talk now about the silent majority, but he wasn't to be seen during the election campaign. They hid him. They buried him in a cave deep in the Nullarbor, I believe, or maybe it was in the basement of the lodge, chained to the pipes. Whatever they did with him, he was not to be seen during the election campaign. Now he's out there saying, "Oh well, look, the voters all agreed with me," but he was too afraid to prosecute his case during the election because. Basically because his case doesn't stand up to scrutiny anywhere in the world. There's nowhere in the world that no economy, no industrial economy anywhere in the world. There might be the odd little fantasy island somewhere or other that can live on Bowen-style renewables only with a few batteries wandering around the place. But nowhere else in the world has done it and is nowhere in the world is likely to ever do it. But on the other side of politics, Andrew, the coalition was so pathetic. They could have argued the case, and they refused to. They refused to.